A Course of Miracles. Lesson 212. I am not a body. I am free, for I am still as God created me. Reviewing Lesson 192. I have a function God would have me fill. I seek the function that would set me free from all the vain illusions of the world. Only the function God has given me can offer freedom. Only this I seek, and only this will I accept as mine. I am not a body. I am free, for I am still as God created me. You keep wondering who you are. What if God already answered? Every morning, before anyone entered the concert hall, before the lights came on, before the first musician arrived, the piano would wake up and whisper the same question. Who am I? It had asked that question for so long, it couldn't remember a morning without it. Sometimes it would stare at its own keys. Maybe I'm missing something. It would look down at its pedals. Maybe I wasn't finished. Then it would glance across the room. The violins always seemed so graceful. The trumpets always sounded so confident. Even the drums never seemed to question themselves. The piano sighed. Everybody else seems to know who they are. One morning, it couldn't bear the question any longer. So it climbed down onto its little piano legs, opened the concert hall door, and quietly wandered into the world. The first instrument it met was a violin. Excuse me, how did you figure out who you were? The violin stopped, looked at the piano for a long moment, then smiled. Figure it out? I never thought about it. The answer only made the piano more confused, so it kept walking. A trumpet was polishing its brass. Can I ask you something? Of course. When did you finally discover your purpose? The trumpet laughed, not at the piano, just at the question. Discover it? My maker settled that long before I met myself. The piano thanked the trumpet, but the question refused to leave. Days became weeks, weeks became years. The piano attended workshops, read books, collected opinions, compared itself with every instrument it could find. Some admired its beauty, others criticized its scratches. Some called it priceless, others called it outdated. One visitor ran a finger across the dust and quietly said, "What a shame." The piano believed every compliment. It believed every criticism. It believed every label. But every night, when the hall grew silent again, the same question returned. Who am I? Then one quiet afternoon, a little child wandered into the empty hall. The child didn't inspect the scratches, didn't notice the dust, didn't ask how expensive the piano had been. The child simply reached up, placed one tiny finger on a single key. The note rang through the room. Warm, clear, certain. The piano didn't become something new. It simply stopped asking. A Course in Miracles says, I have a function God would have me fill. Not one I must invent, not one I must earn, not one the world will eventually hand me. I have one. How can a creation be uncertain if its creator never was? Then the Course quietly repeats what it has repeated for 20 lessons, like returning detective boy to the same evidence, again and again and again. I am not a body. I am free, for I am still as God created me. The piano never needed another identity, only another opinion. The labels came from visitors. The certainty came from the inventor. The lesson continues. I seek the function that would set me free from all the vain illusions of the world. Vain, fruitless, futile, pointless, empty. The compliments were vain. The criticisms were vain. The comparisons were vain. Not because they were cruel, because none of them could answer the question they promised to answer. None of them had created the piano. Dust never changed the piano. Silence never changed the piano. Time never changed the piano. Labels never changed the piano. Because creation had already answered the question before the piano ever learned how to ask it. Perhaps that's why the Course keeps bringing us back to the same words. I am not a body. I am free. For I am still as God created me. Maybe the greatest freedom isn't becoming who you are. Maybe it's finally resting from the exhausting search for what God never stopped creating. Detective Boy closes his notebook, looks once more at the piano, and asks one ordinary question. If the inventor was never confused about what he created, who taught the piano to wonder who it was?